On this hour of Mentoring Kings, we visit some of the nation's most philanthropic organizations giving back to the young men of color in their communities, meeting mentoring kings around the country.
And we'll rise up, I like the waves, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
From Houston to Washington, D.C., from the Calio projects in New Orleans to Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, from the courtroom to the boardroom, from the basketball courts to the baseball diamond, Central City Productions welcomes you to Mentoring Kings. I'm your host, Malcolm Jamal Warner. In this series of Mentoring Kings, we introduce some of the men behind the top organizations in the country, mentoring young men and black boys, and present them with our Mentoring Kings Award. Now, this special not only honors them for what they've done and for who they are, but explores what makes their mentorship work in developing leaders of tomorrow.
I lived in a 3-bedroom project with 16 people. I never had a bed till I was 18, till I went to college, so people don't know that. Me growing up in a household where it was drugs and alcohol, I said, I gotta break that negative cycle. I had this elderly lady tell me, she said, bright eyes, you're gonna be a star. I took that with me. So every time somebody tell me I ain't gonna be nothing, you ain't, and I'm like, no, Ms. Rodriguez, I'm gonna be a star. So I tell these kids that. So even when I was living in poverty, I never spoke it. So I teach kids, do not speak that over yourself, I'm poor. I used to see the people who waiting on lawsuits say, my check in the mail. So even though I ain't had it, I'm like, mama check in the mail, it's coming, so I'm happy, I'm smiling. So I made it successful, come back home. A little kid that I really liked that I was saying, man, this little kid got talent. He was playing basketball and I helped him out, I brought some tennis shoes. So, I said, there's something about that kid. That kid has just natural talent. If he could get out of this environment, he'll be great. 3 weeks later, I had to go on the road, so I used to go watch him play, came back home. I was like, where's Shorty at? Oh, he got killed. I'm like, he got killed? Like, it's over with, it's done. Like, that's a life that's, a kid that's like 13 years old, done, life over with. And I'm saying, what happened? So I started looking at it and I said, he's looking at everybody on that corner, but there's nobody else coming to show how you could get money without standing on that corner. And that's when my life changed. Team Hope came from Let the Kids Grow. We was losing so many kids in the community, and we've been doing this for over 19 years. So this is not something we talk about. We just like, you know what, let's do our part. We in some of the toughest neighborhoods. So people tell me, why you go to so many bad neighborhoods? I say, because that's where the kids need the most help. Man, I went to Ferguson at a time when they had a riot with Mike Brown, where nobody wouldn't want to go there. I done been in California, in Compton, Watts, where it's Bloods, Crips. My thing is, I'm able to get to the kids. People are afraid of our community, so they don't realize that it's not the kids. The kids are not committing a crime in the community. It's the adults. Nobody want to go to those neighborhoods, but it's a lot of stars in those neighborhoods. I come out of one of those neighborhoods, so I know. So why we turn our back on the kids? So when you look at some of these urban communities, they're not getting the grants. They're not getting the proper funding that they need. So we've been supporting the schools with computers, with books. This is all what we've been doing with, you think about Team Hope NOLA. Our main goal is letting the kids grow. So, we're not sitting around waiting for corporate America to do that. We saying we gotta help us.
There's a time, I think it was around Christmas time, when my dad was giving toys back to the kids. Like, you can see all the joy that it brought to the kid's face. Like, you see the joy it brought to my dad's face, too, because, like, I feel like giving back to others is, like, what my dad's, like, good at, because he knows how much it means to you, because he's been in that situation, so.
With Team Hope, we sponsor so many schools, but we have this one boys' academy that's special to us. The Boys Academy, we are grooming young men to be great, to be doctors, lawyers, teachers. You know, we always talk about the negative stuff. Nobody never brags on the positive things that happen in the hood, in the community. This is something positive. Also, it ain't just about money, it's about time. I tell people all the time, like, I'm giving my time. That's more important than anything, because those kids need to see somebody made it out of an environment like this and somebody care about them. To be acknowledged as a mentoring king is great, but it's not about what I do, you know. I do this because I love my people. I want to help the next generation. And I feel like if you make it out of bad environment, you should want to do your part.
On behalf of Mentor Kings, we'd like to give you the Mentor King Award.
Thank you for being an amazing role model and mentoring our lives. We love you.
I love you too. Love you.
Love you.
Man, this is probably my most important award ever.
Welcome back to Mentoring Kings. We have introduced you to some of the men behind the most influential organizations around the country that mentor black men and boys. And we've seen the work it takes for mentoring kings like Derek Hill, granting exposure to new environments.
I want you to look as far as you can see and dream as big as you can dream. My job is to help you get to what you saw. That's it. But I can't give you a vision. Now, that's the thing I can't give. See, mentorship in programming is about simply exposure.
Anthony Flynn, taking a lead on involving black males in the cutting edge of STEM.
This young man came across this organization when he was a small kid, and Jameson, through the work of the 100 and through the constant mentorship and constant investment in his life, he actually graduated from college with 2 degrees. To this day, Jameson is what's called a megatronics engineer.
Danny Bakewell, keeping fires lit by institutionalizing our civic rights and cultural integrity.
What black people have suffered from is that we're helping everybody except ourselves. Everybody cries for someone else, but who cries for us? That's our responsibility, to do for ourselves what others cannot do for us.
C.J. Stewart, to lead through ambassadorship training.
Forget about trying to win the game. There's lessons to be learned for you individually that's going to help you as you become. Helping them to understand that they don't have to be ashamed of where they currently are, their current state. They're in a place of struggle, not stupidity.
And Percy Master P. Miller, to build masterminds through teamwork.
Nobody want to go to those neighborhoods, but it's a lot of stars in those neighborhoods. I come out of one of those neighborhoods, so I know. So why we turn our back on the kids? You know, so you look at some of these urban communities, they're not getting the grants. They're not getting the proper funding that they need. So we've been supporting the schools with computers, with books.
Congratulations to these mentoring kings for their sacrifice. What they do impacts us all. Now, if you missed tonight's honorees and want to learn more about how these black men are impacting young men and boys in our community, visit our site at mentoringking.com.